All right, everybody. Welcome to Wild Pitches. It's the Tennessee Smokies baseball podcast with Aris Theophanopoulos. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to have all of you guys on there. Did I nail it?
Of course, dude. You always nail it.
Thank you. That's what I say. It's not a hard name. It's a long name.
And, long is good. That's what they always tell me, right?
Yeah. Did you ever have it written on the back of a jersey or anything?
Oh, well, the funny thing about that is, so if you try to order like a custom jersey on NFL.com, MLB.com, whatever it may be, the character length goes up to 12 characters. And my last name is 14 letters. So my last name cannot be put on a jersey. So the only way I can do that is if I order a regular jersey and then go to a custom place to get it on there. Or, I hit up my friends at dhgate.com, our friends from China, and put my name on a jersey. And it looks great. It's more affordable.
So 14 characters without the hyphenated last names, which have become, kind of popular now, like Pete Crow Armstrong, the Smokies former player. Have you ever met anyone with more letters than yours?
My godmother, her maiden name was Mariana Juju Claris, and that was 16 letters.
Wow.
So that's a lot. It's a lot. And I have not met anybody with more than 14. I've seen 14 before. I've met people with 14 before, but never more than that. So usually I'm like the leader in the clubhouse for that type of
stuff. My name's pronounced Gillespie. I think most people know that. I've showed my son, going to school, some of the teachers can't say his name right. And I'm like, okay, look, Gil, big ES, PEE, right? Like, because we do that in baseball, like on our roster, hey, here's how you say that. What's the craziest thing that people have mispronounced your name as?
Oh my gosh, man. We could be here forever with all the mispronunciations. It's absurd. It's absurd. I mean, just to think about the first name where I say, oh, my name is Aris. It's like people always screw it up. It's like, it's 4 letters. It's said exactly how it's spelled,
Yeah.
So that's why I always say it's like Paris without the P. But people will say it's Iris, or people will say, as you know, or people will say that it's Aries. I get that a lot. Or Harris.
Harris.
But the thing is, it's just like if I go to Wendy's, if I go to wherever, and it's just like, what's the name on the order? I don't give them my name. I give them something else. I say, my name is Fernando. My name is Rick. My name is Sharon.
Right.
I say ridiculous names like that because it's never going to be right that it's Aris. And honestly, I'm over it. I'm not affected by the whole thing. Now, as far as my last name, people don't even try sometimes. And it's just like, man, you stink, I purposefully kind of, give them the same flack back, not in a spiteful way, but they'll be like, Aris, I don't know, man, I can't say it. I'll be like, oh, sure, and if his name is like Ron, I'll be like, oh yeah, whatever, Bob.
Right.
I'm not even gonna try because you're not gonna give me the respect of trying to say my name. So why should I give you the respect of giving your name back? That's
right.
How it works for me, dude.
Yeah, I've heard you called Harris.
In me. I don't know.
Yeah, right. I've heard you called Harris before by the late great Don Zamia, our elevator guy that we lost. We all miss.
Yeah.
I've met. You're not the first Aris I've met. I guess that's how I knew how to say that. So I met an Aris from Okinawa, which is a island outside of Japan. Kind of over there. But his name was Aris. He could actually, what I remember about him, good guy. He could climb a coconut tree with his hands and his feet.
That's unique.
Yeah, like basically climb up and climb back down. I guess where he lived, like that was something that they just did, and he'd be like, hey, watch this. Aris is going to climb the coconut tree again. And they'd be like 30 feet up,
And was this just for fun, leisure, or there?
I mean, I went to college in Hawaii for an exchange program. So he was at UH. I was there. Just to do it, and I guess, when he was a kid, they would actually climb up to get coconuts, where he lived. I mean,
What are your
So
thoughts on coconuts?
I like them. I mean, I do have a tree nut allergy, so I'm a little skeptical of anything that's related tree nut wise. But for me, it's pistachios that are really tough. But love the taste of them. Love any kind of like drink that has coconut in it. I like having drinks out of coconuts, which is something that I've
That's
done.
preferred. That's
Yeah,
preferred.
right. Like including when I was in Key West last year, So now what about you? You a coconut guy?
I can't say that I have had an actual coconut. Like
Really?
I've had things with coconut in it, I guess, but I've never. I mean, I've held a coconut before
Hmm.
for. Well, let's not get into that. But I've never busted open a coconut and ate the innards. I guess it's more
Yeah.
about the coconut milk, right?
Well, yeah, the milk, but also the actual meat of the coconut is, like if you had my grandmother used
I've
to
had an
make
almond
coconut
joy.
cake.
Is that
Yeah,
real
right.
coconut?
Yeah, that's yeah. My grandmother made coconut cake, and then, you have shredded coconut on top of it. The if you get it straight out of the coconut, now it will upset your stomach. It's
Really?
yeah, like it just that's kind of one of the things it's known for. If you're constipated, you can crack eat some
Oh,
coconut, drink that coconut milk straight out of there, and
good to
you'll
know.
fix that.
But why
Um,
is it coconut milk? How come it's not coconut juice?
well, I guess because it's white. Yeah, it
Well,
looks
that's
like milk.
that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, that's the
I mean,
way
it's
it is.
pineapple juice. It's not
Yep,
like
yep.
isn't milk supposed to be like from a
Well, if it was
person?
white, though, maybe it would be. I don't know. Like to
Thought.
me, I think that's a kind of a part of it. Um, well, let's talk about the upcoming. Let's talk. We may need to make a drink at the stadium, like a coconut drink, for Jimmy Buffett night.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Um, and talking about Jimmy Buffett night, here's the schedule. We pop it up there. This is the upcoming Smokies schedule, and we get this. We actually get it before the season's over. But you study it a lot now because as you like put everything together for the promotions and all that kind of stuff, you're looking at it. We always look and try to see how many games we have once school starts, right? Because you you don't want to have a lot of home games when school starts because your crowds go down a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And just taking a quick glance here at the schedule, as you see, opening day, we have the true opening day. Once again, April 5th. So we're at home against the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and it's going to be great. That whole first homestand, I guess you could say, it's a quick 3-gamer. It's going to be built around celebrating our championship. So something that we haven't
Nice.
done outright in a long time. So be on the lookout for fun giveaways specifically in that 3-day block.
Oh, that'll
And
be
then
cool.
the big thing here, maybe if this is your first time looking at it, or even if it's not the first time you're looking at it, maybe you didn't notice, take a look from the end of June through the middle of July. We are going to play in a 25-day stretch 3 home games at Smoky Stadium. From
Wow,
June 24th through July 18th, that's 25 days, we are playing just 3 games
that's
at
crazy.
Smoky Stadium. And that is horrible. Because as you just led off the whole schedule, introduction here, the big thing is getting it while the kids are out of school. So
Right.
obviously all the kids are out of school in the dead of summer right there.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we get 3 home games in that whole stretch. And not only is it 3 home games, but they are first, the only Monday on the schedule, July 1st.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Look at that.
that's tough to begin with because it's
Yeah.
the only Monday to tell people that's happening. And then it's July 2nd and July 3rd, not July 4th. We'll be on the road July 4th for America's birthday, but we'll have the 3 days leading up to it.
Yeah. The good thing is at least that week in July, just looking on the bright side, at least those are like holiday Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But you're right. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, the fact that we're in Montgomery the July 9th through the 14th, and there's a 4-day All-Star break after that. It's just kind of, you're right. That is a weird schedule. And playing wise, it's going to be tough. Well, that you do split the halves though, because I'm sure that the last day, well, I don't know. Maybe the last day of the first half is the 23rd. And then it starts the second half because that puts you in a tough bind, playing all those road games.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And I mean, just from my perspective, where my home base here is Smoky Stadium. I work all of the home games. We plan everything out there for that. It is good because we can really dedicate those 3 days, July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and we're going to make those. As a little bit of a hint, it's going to be like an all-American homestand. So
Right.
we are going to have a lot of great promotions where we're stacking it up on those 3 days, similar to the beginning of the year, where it's going to be all about celebrating our championship. Those 3 days in July, we're going to be celebrating America to the fullest those 3 days. I'm not going to give you all the details on it yet, but it's going to be fantastic. So we can plan for those and really dedicate all of our time for there. But Mick, what's it going to be like being on the road for all of those? It's a series at Birmingham. Then we're here for 3 against Chattanooga. But then you're immediately getting on the bus and going to Chat, then going to Montgomery. What's that going to be like?
Yeah, it's a lot of time away, and it's a lot of travel too. You kind of get to the point where you can't wait to get back. And I enjoy being at home at Smoky Stadium more than I do on the road these days. I think it just is fun. Like I love being at the ballpark and seeing the people that we work with every day, the George Yardleys and the Chris Allens, hanging out with you. I'm going to miss Don Zamia a lot, mentioned him before. He passed away. He was our elevator guy. He's just a great supporter of the team and our broadcast. But it is fun being at home. I'll tell you that right now. That's kind of a weird quirk in the schedule. Last year, look, we're going to be in Pensacola in May, and then Biloxi in June. So you talk about travel. Those are the 2 longest trips, distance wise, and they're back to back. So it's like you're going 8 hours on the bus both ways, and then yeah, it's just so weird. Like you hardly even play the teams in the other division. I mean, it's like all you see is Birmingham and Chattanooga and Rocket City. What's weird is this schedule. It feels like it's almost the exact schedule as far as like when we play everyone. As it's like they just kind of tweak a couple things, but you always play like Montgomery at the beginning of the season at home.
Yeah.
And then play there around the All-Star break, Major League All-Star break. You play Chattanooga at their place a lot. And look, we play there actually 3 trips to Chattanooga this year, although the one in July is only 3 games. 2 trips to Mississippi. So one in August, right? One in September. Yeah, that is different. And that's a pretty good haul too. Yeah, so that's it. I think we played twice in Montgomery last year. At the end of July, early August, and then September in Mississippi. So,
and another quirk here with this, because of the realignment of teams dropping from minor league baseball, and they want to have some more uniformity of fans coming out to the ballpark and knowing when the team is at home, is this whole 6 games on, 6 games off, for the exception of the opening weekend. And then when it comes to this year, at least for July 3rd and July 4th, the reason behind that is they didn't want any team to miss out on making revenue for the Independence Day week or weekend. Now, July 4th falls on a Thursday this year, so that's why we get the home games at the beginning of the week, and then Chattanooga gets the home games for the conclusion of that homestand. But looking at this again, we only have one series where we're playing 12 games in 13 days. And, it is a positive thing. It's at the conclusion of May. And usually here in East Tennessee, baseball or schools let out near the end of May. So from May 29th through June 9th, We're playing 12 games in 13 days. So that's a good little slot there for us. But another thing that the schedule makers did to us, you could say that it's worse than the 3 games in 25 days is August 26th through September 9th. We're on the road for 2 straight weeks, and then we're back at home for the final series, September 10th through the 16th. That might be great for the actual baseball team, depending on playoffs and, having the home field advantage and everything like that. But good gracious, kids are back in school in August, and people kind of forget about us because of the UT football schedule and everything else that goes on that comes with fall. So we're going to be off of people's minds for 2 weeks from the end of August and the beginning of September. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we're playing 6 games, September 10th through the 16th. So that's going to be a tough last week, and it's going to be cold and all that other stuff that comes with it.
It's also possibly the last time we'll ever play at Smoky Stadium.
That's right. That's really weird to think about, dude.
Yeah. I mean, what's going to happen? You get to that last game, and then you're packing up your office and, and you're getting all your stuff and you're moving, it's so crazy to think about that because there's been, the Smokies have played in Smoky Stadium 25 years. So 25 years of packing to do. I wonder how much, how much stuff you're going to have to move from one place to the next.
I don't know. There's some things that, my personal belongings I'll take with me, but a lot of the stuff that comes with the new ballpark is new technology. And a lot of the stuff here is just going to be outdated. It's already outdated, but there's no reason to take it to a new facility. And that's just coming from my department where there's, it's all audio, visual and stuff that's very expensive. I mean, here, I don't know. Are we going to be bringing the folding tables and chairs to the new stadium? I don't think so.
Yeah, right.
Those things are going to be ended up in some type of donation to local high schools or whatever it may be from around here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, it's definitely worth thinking about. So it's going to be, you talk about honoring the team that won the championship in 2023. And then you're honoring the stadium too, the experience of playing at Smoky Stadium and what that meant and what that's like, so it's it's 2 different things in one, right? Hey, we won the championship. How great is that? And oh, by the way, we're also going to miss this place and thank you for the memories, and I've honestly had some great memories there. So,
and that loads up our promotional schedule, dude. That loads it up, because we're going to have great theme nights and giveaways throughout the year. But we have 2 reasons to add more giveaways and celebrate. We're celebrating the championship at the beginning of the year, and then we're going to have those giveaways that commemorate, everything that's taken place here at Smoky Stadium, our farewell to the stadium. So that just adds it to it. It's not like we're subtracting things from the middle. We're just adding things to the beginning and at the end. So it makes it exciting. And, it's just as you said, it's going to be tough to say goodbye to this place.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a first look at it, really, to kind of think about that. And then, on a future episode, we'll have to talk about the different promotions, and I can tell you that the stuff that, the people like to do, like Margaritaville night, we'll do that, and Grateful Dead night and Elvis night. There's been some really fun things that have kind of just taken root. This would be the first. I was thinking about this, and I can't remember if we talked about this before, but the first Margaritaville night since we lost Jimmy Buffett, which is so hard to kind of even say and wrap my head around. Just because he is such an icon to music and to the South and to, the beach culture. And that has always been, since I've been the Smokies at Smoky Stadium, the, kind of the foundation of the, of the promotional schedule. We've done jerseys for it. Last year we had the beach hat giveaway. I got a Barron's Hawaiian shirt that they did. And I thought, man, that would be cool to do a Smokies one like that. But, we'll have to do something special for that this year.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be kind of weird because it's going to be like a while from his passing. You know,
Mhm.
we typically do Margaritaville near the beginning of the time where our most of our fan base comes to our ballpark. You know, near the
Yeah.
end of May or the beginning of June. That's typically when we do our Margaritaville night, kind of a kickoff to the summer.
Yeah.
It's
That's
gonna
a
be
good
a
way of
while
putting it.
since he passed away, but it's still it carries a lot of weight to it. And it's one thing where for teams out there to do like a Hawaiian night or anything like that, but we've never done Hawaiian night. It's been Jimmy Buffett, it's been
Yeah.
Margarita. So
Right.
it's an added bonus. It's an added, element to making it, a 9 inning vacation here. It's fun. It's laid back. Just as dude, like Margaritaville and having drinks, enjoying the beautiful weather, and it's all about relaxing and having a good time. That's what we try to do every Margaritaville here.
Yeah, it's like we turn Smoky Stadium into the Floribama for one day, right?
And that's your place.
That
So
is my place, and so yeah, like I'm looking forward to that one. Without giving away too many details, I know that you guys are working on the jersey for Grateful Dead night. That's always fun. Those things are sought after, man. I mean, like you guys that design that stuff must have like uh, you know, a little pressure to outdo yourself from the year before.
that's the thing, dude. That's literally the thing here. That's what my goal is. It's to bring people to the ballpark, have a fantastic time, tell their friends and family about how much fun they had, and make them come out to the ballpark. And the thing is, as you said, Margaritaville, Star Wars night, these nights that we do every single year, we can't do the same thing every single time. That's how it gets stale and people just think it's boring. Oh, it's just another Star Wars night. It's like, how can we elevate the game? How can we make it even better than the past year, than the year before that, than the year before that? We got to go above and beyond, make it really exciting so
Yeah.
people can talk about, wow, this year's so great. What are they going to do next year to top it? So,
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, that's kind of what you're right. That does make it a lot of fun to kind of just figure out how to do the same thing, but do it better, to do it different, and when you guys are designing those jerseys, like they're going to sell at the same time. Which one of the jerseys that you guys did last year, which one sold the best? Which one's got the best like feedback, from people and stuff? What were the ones that were like that really stuck out?
So last year we did 6 jerseys, and every single one of them, people loved them. People absolutely loved them. And the big thing is that they stood out, going into what we were saying earlier about the things that they stick out. So, like with the Grateful Dead jersey, there's so many different elements that go into the Grateful Dead, all of the different logos and icons. We've talked about it before. They have the Bears, they have Bertha, they have Steely Dan. They have so many different things that go into
Mhm.
Grateful Dead. So we try to do a different element every single year and make it exciting. Last year we had once again our Elvis night. So we did a different look on Elvis, where rather than doing one of his like jumpsuits like we did before, we had the original white one with the rhinestones, the red and the gold and all of that. We've done that before. We did the blue Hawaii look. This last year, we kind of did a marquee look. So it wasn't as if it was something that Elvis was wearing the jersey.
Mhm.
It was something where it was a black jersey. It had his autograph big on there. It had song lyrics on there. It had the big light up marquee Elvis in gold and red. People loved that jersey. We brought back an oldie but a goodie. We haven't done Christmas in July in years, since before I started working here. So we had an elf themed jersey based off of the Will Ferrell movie. So the jersey was bright green. It had the white fuzzy at the top. It had the yellow accoutrements down there. People love that because it is so different. Something that we do every year is work with making strides against breast cancer. Now, not one of the most exciting jerseys, but it's definitely something that packs the most punch in our community because so many people come out to the ballpark to support that organization and donate money to the cause. And this year we had a highlighter pink jersey. So it stood out. Obviously, you can be a crossing guard wearing it, and you're also representing, the pink with that. And that's something that Chris Allen loved the most. Chris Allen, our president,
Yeah.
he thought that jersey was the best because it was simple and it really stood out, and it was nothing like we did before. And it really shows how much we care about the community because we want to do something different. We don't want to do the same pink jersey every single year. It's so easy to get kind of lost in the shuffle of how many different organizations do a pink jersey. And we don't want to do the same thing every single year. For those that come out to the ballpark every single year and support Making Strides, they want something different to represent them. And so that's what we did with that as well. So
Yeah,
all
cool.
the jerseys had a great support for them in different ways, and people loved it, and they love supporting our communities.
Yeah, all well put there, and all exciting stuff. I love when we do like the jerseys and then kind of figure out like what, like when are they coming out? What are they going to look like? Sometimes I'm involved in kind of giving you guys some ideas, but for the most part, it's you guys that come up with everything. And they sell.
The dead one's looking pretty good this year.
Yeah, the dead one is looking good. I'm excited about it. I'll say this. I will give everyone that wants one of those a hint. When we did the first one, which was really one of the most popular ones we ever did at the time, and you couldn't get them. I mean, like they're on eBay for hundreds of dollars. People want them. And then, we've kind of done some different designs. It will resemble that one from 2015 or 16, whenever that was. So in a way, to an extent, right. Not it's good. This one is going to be a ton better. I'll just tell you that right now. Way more creative, way cooler, but it'll be closer to that one than the other ones have been. That's the hint that you get. Maybe we'll have on one of these shows down the road to break.
We can do the big reveal on here. We can
that'd be fun. Yeah, I would love that. I'd love that. I was at last time I was at Floribama, I met a guy who used to compete in the Ultimate Elvises against David Lee, who's been our Elvis. And I was telling him about, yeah. He was like, man, 20 years ago, we would go head to head in these competitions. The Elvis post game concert is so good, man. Like just him on stage and doing his thing, and I love that. But I love the Jimmy Buffett guys. Stolen Faces have been fun. Like the post game, pre game bands are really cool. When we get to the new stadium, the venue is going to be a lot more conducive to having those acts.
Yeah. And going with that, last year we introduced a wrestling night at the ballpark. And this is something that was not on the schedule the entire year. This was something that I tried to add in halfway through the year. And wow, it turned out to be one of our best nights of the year. We got to bring out Knoxville mayor and, of course, former champion of wrestling, Kane. And so he threw out the first pitch. People loved that. But the thing that, going with the whole post-game activities, we had wrestling at the ballpark located right on the concourse, and this place was packed to the brim. There was not enough room for how many people stayed around to watch the wrestling. So we're gonna 100% put that in there. I'm telling you, we're gonna have wrestling night again next season, coming up in the 2024 season, and we're gonna have the matches take place excuse me, we're going to have the matches take place outside of the stadium, so there's more room. We're going to set up bleachers outside of the stadium so people can come and really get to take in the wrestling that we're going to have. More matches. We're going to have vendors out there. Food and drinks will continue throughout the night for the wrestling. It's going to be a fantastic night.
Yeah.
So it's just adding to all the fun things that we do here at Smoky Stadium. Be on the lookout for our promotional schedule coming up next year. Can you believe it?
I know. I love wrestling. I was showing Stephanie, my wife, they had like this advertisement for like old toys, and it was like these wrestling dolls that I would ask, Santa Claus for every year as a kid. And it was like Hogan and Andre the Giant, and Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Greg the Hitman, or Bret the Hitman Hart had one. I mean, like all these guys, and I've had a few of them. I had the ring, I had a friend that had them all. His mom bought all of them, or at least most of them. He had Mean Gene Okerlund, the ring announcer. It was
Yes.
really like
Oh,
such a cool thing. Like, so
the
I've
Mean
really
Gene
liked.
doll. That's
Yeah, he had,
great.
and they were like rubber. The paint would. The problem with them is that if you played with them, the paint would like, you'd hit the other guy, and then you'd look, and your paint would be on the side of their face, and then your guy would be without paint. So I had two Hogans. I had like five of them. I don't think I had many, but I had two Hogans, and one of them I made like a bad Hulk Hogan. Like he was like, yeah. So, but anyway, I was showing her the advertisement. I was like, "God, this used to be." So I love wrestling. I still do. I enjoy it. I don't watch it as much as I did when I was a kid, but it's fun. Those guys are really good athletes too. They're underestimated as kind of how good of athletic guys they are. And the crazy thing, kind of just tying it back to baseball, is that Randy Macho Man Savage, who's one of the all-time greats in wrestling, was actually a baseball player, and he played for the St. Louis Cardinals in their minor league system. And he had like a shoulder injury, and he taught himself how to bat left-handed instead of right-handed. No, throw. I think he was throwing left-handed instead of right-handed, something like that, to try to keep playing. And then from that, he when that didn't work out, he got into wrestling. I think his dad was in that business, and him and his brother were both, professional wrestlers and really good at it. And, but you think about like there's, floating around somewhere, maybe like a Randy Savage minor league baseball card, maybe like a guy on the Smokies that one day becomes like the biggest wrestler of all times, maybe
Hayden
make
McGeary could do it.
Yeah. Hayden McGeary. He's a big guy. Well, cool, man. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap it up today?
Hey, you know what? 2023 was a fantastic season here at Smoky Stadium and the Tennessee Smokies and Boyd Sports. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out to the game, supporting the team, loving the team. And we hope that 2024 is a blessed and lovely year, even better.
All right, well said. So for Aris and Mick, like and subscribe. Make sure you comment, guys, and we'll talk to you real soon. Go Smokies!